Flash. Whoa, that trailer dropped. And here's the deal. This is going to be fun because we're going to be on two different ends of the spectrum. I'm converted. I think it's going to be a great movie. And you, Riley? Is the podcast over?
No, no.
Are we parting ways?
Who's playing the Flash?
Let's see. Some guy named Ezra Miller.
Yeah, my point. 1 point for Beans.
He's weird, but he's a good fit.
Is Henry Cavill in this movie?
He's a good fit. We don't know yet.
Point for Beans.
We don't know yet.
Oh, point for Beans.
We don't know yet.
That's a point for Beans. That's 2-0.
Okay. Fine. Is Michael Keaton playing Batman in the movie? 5 points for JP. Game over. Boom.
Is Ben Affleck also playing Batman in this movie?
How dare you.
10 points
How
for
dare
Beans.
you.
And the tables have turned again.
So we have Batman in this movie.
Oh my gosh.
We have Batman in this movie. We have multiple Flashes. There's probably more questions really than answers coming out of this trailer. But let's hit some highlights, okay? What I liked from the trailer. Listen, Ezra Miller is a weird, mother-loving dude. I am all for this vibe of Barry Allen that we get from him.
Okay,
he's also talented. He's a...
It's a weird choice for Barry. I'm sorry. It's a weird choice for Barry.
In what way?
He just seems off.
Okay. Like fidgety kind of off?
I don't know, he almost kind of seems like...
Loopy?
Like maybe a little, maybe like a villain-esque. You know?
A little too much darkness in there?
Yeah, like he might pop off at any time.
Interesting.
It's in the eyes, Jordan.
Okay.
If I'm being completely honest with you, it's in the eyes.
You gotta look away from his eyes.
No, you just... Yeah, that is my indicator for everyone.
Okay.
If there's something going on with the eyeballs.
I think Ezra Miller's nuts. That part, to me, that's just undisputed. Like, that's just a track record. Let's go to the tape here. Whoa, yep, nuts. And I think he's a great fit for Barry Allen. I do. So again, this may be the end of the pot, but it's okay. We're gonna die on this hill together, not by drowning, but by explosion. We've already established that it won't be by drowning. So, boy Barry's in there. I like the Flashpoint vibes that we're getting. Okay, and I'm not a Flashpoint. Hey, give me some of that from the comics. It's fine. It's a good concept. It's not by any stretch of the imagination one of my favorite comics.
It's such an odd choice for your first Flash movie.
It's all because they're just resetting things. I mean, functionally, that's the only direction that they're going with that.
But when they decided on this 20 years ago, when they announced this movie, they didn't indicate that at all. In honesty, they got lucky. They got lucky that this timed the way that it timed. Or maybe they purposely pushed it back this long. But I don't think they're that well thought out.
No, I think this is more the case of the blind squirrel finding the nut as much as anything else.
And that squirrel was in a different hemisphere and still somehow found the nut.
Yeah. Someday we're going to get a more detailed idea of the production history of this movie. It's not going to be for a long while, I would guess. But I do think that the idea of this Flash movie being a reset point has been out there for a while, because the powers that be at Warner Bros., once they fell out of love with Zack Snyder's vision, were like, how do we adjust this? Hey, there's this Flashpoint comic where Flash resets things. That's what I think. So I don't think this was driven by James Gunn.
Oh,
right?
No.
This is obviously preceded him. But I think that's my hunch. Do I know that for a fact? Of course not. But that's my hunch. So I'm on board with the Flashpoint vibes, because for me as a fan, anything can happen in this movie, and all that must happen is that it resets whatever needs to be reset so that we can start fresh with the DC slate where we want to start fresh. And if they want to carry over some worthwhile individuals into their character roles, Henry Cavill as Superman, which we already know we're not getting, but we should be, that would be fantastic, right? We don't know a lot, but I'm excited by what we see so far. Michael Keaton as Batman looks incredible.
He does look good.
Looks incredible.
He does
how
look
they
great.
incorporated the original 1989 Batman music into the trailer. That was awesome. That was powerful. Something from the Flashpoint comic that they're teasing a little bit in this movie is that the Flash, in the Flashpoint comic, doesn't create a world without metahumans, but the world that results from his actions to save his mom is very different in terms of the relationships of all the heroes. One of the most on-point parallels is Superman isn't around. He came to Earth. When his ship landed on Earth, it was immediately discovered by, I think it was the U.S. government, and they've kept him underground for his entire life. And so in the Flashpoint comic, it's not until later in the comic when he is set free. I don't remember if it's Batman or the Flash that cuts him loose, but regardless, then he gains his power and, obviously becomes a force for good. But they're doing that instead with Superman with Supergirl. I don't mind that.
He's malnourished.
Very malnourished.
Look very scary.
Yeah.
Like a floating corpse.
I'm all for that. I think that's a cool concept to lean into. I have a lot of questions. For example, what other heroes are going to be in this movie? We know we're getting Batmen. We know we're getting a Supergirl. I think there's others that are going to show up. What do you think?
Probably. I don't know who or whom. It would have been really cool to get like that Wonder Woman Aquaman fight from the comics. That would have been kind of cool. And see if Gal Gadot can play the bad guy and behead some people, because I think she could. But I don't know. I don't think they're gonna do it similar to the comics in that regard. So I think if somebody else shows up, I
don't think it'll be that on the nose.
Right. It'll be a different version. Maybe one is not so good of a guy.
Yep.
Compared to somebody else, but I'm like 50-50 on it. I don't know. There's got to be somebody, I'm sure.
Here's a really important question for you on the hero track. All right. So we know Michael Keaton is playing Batman. Is he playing Bruce Wayne, or is it Thomas Wayne?
I think it's Bruce.
You do?
I think it's Bruce.
I think that's most likely, but the opening is there for it to be Thomas, because not once in the trailer is he referred to as Bruce.
I know, but...
And that's a Flashpoint comic thing. I'm not holding to it. I'm not even necessarily hoping for that, but it's there. It could be a thing.
Look, Michael Keaton would be a great choice for Thomas Wayne.
He would. He'd be outstanding.
But at the same time, they're giving us the same suit. So for me, I'm like, that's probably not it. Now, if they were to do like a sweet like Flashpoint Batman suit down the line, and that's a red herring, and they're like, oh, you think you're getting 1989.
No.
Well played. But I am going to say something really crazy here.
Do it anyway.
I don't think they're that smart. So, now it's probably going to be Bruce.
That's some solid ground to stand on.
Yeah.
Okay. How about villains? We don't get a glimpse of any villain outside of one we've seen before. Well, I've seen before. Zod. Again, we have to watch Man of Steel before we see The Flash together. And we will. It's going to be glorious.
I agree.
I like the idea of bringing Zod back. I do, because again, I love Man of Steel, and I think Zod was a phenomenal part of Man of Steel, so I think that's a strength to bring him back, to lean back into that character and Michael Shannon's portrayal of Zod. I'm really certain that we're going to get some Reverse Flash action. I really do.
I want to hold out hope that is the case.
What would that do for you if that came to be?
Depending on who's the Reverse Flash and how they pull it off.
Ezra Miller.
You think he's going to play himself?
Oh.
Or you think he's going to play the opposite?
Sure.
He's going to play Reverse Flash and the regular? Yeah, I don't like that.
Okay.
I want it to be...
Different.
I want it to be Eobard Thawne and not some evil version of Barry Allen.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's a cop-out, because you didn't want to sign another actor.
I think that's pretty likely.
you know what? And that's why I don't like it. It's you know what? That's probably what's gonna happen. It's not even gonna be. You know what?
It'll just be an evil version of Barry.
Right. It's not even gonna be. They're not gonna be like, oh, it's the Reverse Flash.
Sure.
It's gonna be like, I killed my mom and my dad. And then he'll just come out, and then he'll try to. I don't know. It'll be something
traveling
crazy
through
like
time trying to kill
all of his other berries. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I lost my parents. You don't get them either. Yeah, it'll be something stupid like that.
What a turd.
But other than that, there's open doors. Here's the thing that you have to ask yourself: what got cut from this movie?
Oh, jeez.
Because of the new changes. What did they put in because of the changes? I have no idea. This is Russian roulette for characters. I have no idea who's going to be in it and who's not going to be in it, and it's going to make kind of sense. Or not kind of sense at all.
I'm just thinking back to the Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness build-up with all the rumors that floated around that movie. And that movie did not have the same elongated production nightmare. And there were so many of those rumors that did not come to pass.
And I was okay with that.
And same.
That worked in its favor.
Same. So I don't even know what to say in terms of what, to answer your question. I don't know. But for me, for what I would hope for, I'd be all for a Elseworlds feeling movie, right? I don't need to see, I want to see Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, yes, but I don't necessarily need to see her in this movie.
Right.
Right? I just want to see her in future Wonder Woman films. Same with Jason Momoa's Aquaman, with, I'm just absolutely blanking, Zachary Levi's Shazam. I don't need those characters in this movie. I'm all for giving alternate versions of the characters. That, to me, is really cool and part of the appeal of the time travel aspect. That'd be great.
What I think this movie could do really well is, and I think it'd be really cool if they do it, is that if towards the end of this movie we get little cameos.
Sure.
Like you just see you see Shazam flying through.
Yep.
You see maybe you tease your new Green Lantern. Just maybe 2 new characters you confirm, and then you confirm 2 characters that you're like, these 2 are sticking around.
Yeah.
I think that would be perfectly done, because then you're like, it provides the right amount of hype.
Yeah.
Because these guys are coming back. Yeah. And even
it provides you a launching point.
Even if you show off a silhouette of Green Lantern, you don't show the face, you just show the emblem, and you're like, it's actually happening.
Yeah.
Just to show that, your cohesiveness is going to happen.
It's really a thing.
Right. Like, Flashpoint doesn't have to be a part of it, and it won't be, but, at the same time, if this is, almost your prequel into your chapter 0, essentially, into what's happening, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. And it has the potential to be that, right? It's coming after the Shazam movie, prior to Blue Beetle, which everything we've been told is a very standalone, isolated film, and then the Aquaman movie at the very end of the year. So there's
that one's gonna be a weird one too, because it's gonna be weird if they were gonna place it before the Flash movie and after the Flashpoint, whatever.
So, but I agree. There's an opportunity for the movie, for whatever conclusion it comes to end with a strong tone of hopefulness. And so if it can do that, if it can provide a hopeful, optimistic tease for the future, there's power in that.
Because I'll be honest, this movie could be absolute garbage. Absolute hot garbage. Awful, worse than Batman vs. Superman. And it could be redeemed in that 1 to 2 minute clip of various heroes and villains.
Sure.
And villains. I would love a couple villain teases too.
Yeah.
Honestly, it would redeem half the movie.
I think it's going to be a good movie. I have no idea if it's going to be incredible, but I also don't think it's going to be a hot mess.
My expectations are low.
And that's a great place to be.
And they will stay low.
That's the beauty of low expectations. It's the beauty of it. You get surprised.
And I can't wait to be in the theater with you booing it.